Scientists put billionaire brains in a scanner. What they saw changed everything we thought we knew about money. It wasn't hard work, it wasn't luck, it wasn't even intelligence. Their brains were different, physically different, structurally rebuilt from the inside out. And here's what terrified the researchers. It wasn't something they were born with. It was something they chose to do, deliberately, on purpose. Most people spend their entire lives working, hoping, saving, and still end up with nothing to show for it. Not because they didn't try hard enough, because they never got the real operating manual. Today, that changes. These are the 7 psychological secrets hidden inside billionaire brains, the ones they never teach in school, the ones that separate people who build real wealth from people who only dream about it. Stay till the end, because secret number 7 is the one that will permanently change how you see money. Let's get into it. Secret 1: the biology of wealth. Stop thinking money is just about math. It's not. Neuroscientists at leading research institutions ran deep studies on what extreme wealth does to the human brain. Their findings were published in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology. The conclusion? Wealth doesn't just change your bank account, it physically changes your brain. The actual connections inside your skull get rebuilt. New circuits form, old ones weaken. Billionaire brains are wired to find opportunity where other people see chaos, to focus on what can go right, not what can go wrong, to take action where average people freeze. But here's the part most people miss. That rewiring doesn't come from being born rich. It comes from what you feed your brain, the books you read, the environments you choose, the decisions you make, the discomfort you push through. Every billionaire you've ever heard of started ordinary. What changed wasn't their circumstances. What changed was their brain. And the question you need to ask yourself right now is simple. What are you feeding yours? Secret 2: the focus switch. Here's something that might make you uncomfortable. The richer billionaires get, the less they care about what people think of them. Not because they're cold, not because they're bad people, because their brain made a strategic trade. Researchers call it strategic cognitive redirection. In plain English, the brain stops wasting energy on other people's feelings and redirects it all towards one thing: focus. Emotional distraction is expensive. Every time you worry about what someone thinks of you, every time you slow down because someone is unhappy, every time you change your plans to keep the peace, that costs you mental energy you could have spent building something. Elon Musk made decisions at Tesla and SpaceX that most experts said were insane. He didn't care. He was locked in on the mission, not the opinions. Warren Buffett walked away from deals with people he genuinely liked because the numbers didn't work. Friendship didn't override focus. Jeff Bezos built one of the most demanding work cultures in history, not because he was cruel, because his vision was bigger than being liked. This is not coldness, this is clarity. And most people never develop it because they're too busy managing everyone else's comfort. Secret 3: time is the real currency. Let me ask you something. What do you think billionaires actually care about more than money? Time. Not as a motivational concept, as a real, obsessive, non-negotiable priority. Their entire psychology is built around one goal: buying back their time. Every investment they make, every business they build, every asset they acquire, it's a time machine. Here's the number that should shake you. More than 47% of Americans have zero investments. Zero. They trade hours for a paycheck, spend it, and repeat the same cycle until they're too old to change anything. That's not just a financial problem, that's a psychology problem. Warren Buffett still lives in the same modest house he bought in 1958,
Not because he can't afford something better, because he decided decades ago to compound his wealth instead of display it, to buy back his future self's time. The question billionaires ask is not, what can I afford right now? The question is, what is this decision going to cost my future self? Start asking that question right now, today. If this is already shifting the way you see money, good. You're not even halfway through. Hit that like button right now and subscribe if you haven't already. Every week on this channel, we go deeper into the psychology of power, wealth, and the hidden forces shaping who wins and who doesn't. Now, back to the billionaire brain.
Secret 4. The reality distortion field. You've heard people call Elon Musk delusional. You've heard them say Steve Jobs was arrogant, that Jeff Bezos was reckless for leaving a high-paying job to sell books from a garage. Here's what those people never understood. That so-called delusion wasn't a flaw, it was a weapon. Researchers call it the reality distortion field, the ability to look at something everyone says is impossible and simply decide that it isn't. Where most people see a cliff, billionaires see a calculated step. Where most people see a 50% chance of losing everything, billionaires see a 50% chance of winning everything. That's not recklessness. That's a trained, deliberate, fiercely protected way of seeing the world. And here's what makes it even more powerful. They don't fear failure the way you do. To them, failure is information. It's feedback. It tells them what to adjust and where to go next. It is not the end of the story. It is part of the story. Steve Jobs got pushed out of his own company. He came back and turned Apple into the most valuable company in human history. The cost of never trying is always higher than the cost of failing. Always. Secret 5. The asset machine. Most people look at an investment and ask one question: how much is it worth today? Wrong. Billionaires ask, how much freedom will this generate while I'm sleeping? There's a massive difference between those two questions, and that gap is exactly why most people stay poor. Billionaires are not collecting assets to look impressive. They're building a machine, a quiet, powerful, compounding machine that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, generating freedom while they focus on building more. Warren Buffett called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. He wasn't being poetic, he was being precise. Patience plus ownership equals freedom, mathematical freedom. Every smart investment is time bought back from a future that would otherwise demand your labor just to survive. Stop asking what something is worth today. Start asking what it will earn you while you sleep. That one shift is worth more than any raise you'll ever get. Secret 6. The isolation bubble. This one will make some people angry. The people around you are not neutral. They are not background noise. They are an active, powerful force shaping how you think, how much risk you're willing to take, and what you believe is normal. If your circle is comfortable with average, average becomes your ceiling. If your circle sees ambition as arrogance and calls big goals unrealistic, that environment will pull you back down every single time. Billionaires know this, so they choose their inner circle with full intention and zero sentimentality. Not based on history, not out of loyalty to the past, based on one question: does this relationship make me sharper? Bill Gates and Warren Buffett maintained one of the most famous business friendships in history, not because they go way back, because each one makes the other think bigger, move faster, and see further. That is not coincidence, that is curation. Right now, audit the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they pulling you toward the life you want or away from it?
Be honest, because your answer explains more about where you are right now than you might want to admit. Secret 7. The Obsession Engine. This one will change everything. Discipline is overrated. Every productivity influencer, every self-help book, every morning routine video tells you the same thing. Be more disciplined, wake up earlier, grind harder. And yet most people who follow all of that still don't build real wealth. Why? Because lasting wealth doesn't come from discipline alone. It comes from obsession. Steve Jobs didn't build Apple because he had an amazing morning routine. He built it because the work didn't feel like work. It felt like the only thing worth doing. Elon Musk runs multiple companies simultaneously, not because he has superhuman willpower, but because the problems he's solving feel so urgent, so personally important, that stopping would be more painful than continuing. That is what obsession looks like from the inside. Here's the real formula. Find something the world needs, get unreasonably good at delivering it, build a system around it that earns while you sleep and grows while you rest. Stop trying to build wealth by cutting expenses and working longer hours. That's survival thinking. Survivors don't build empires. The people who actually change their lives are the ones who find the thing that makes building feel like play, and they never stop playing. 7 secrets, studied by scientists, sitting in plain sight. 1. Wealth rewires your brain. Feed yours with intention. 2. Protect your focus like your life depends on it, because your future does. 3. Time is the real currency. Every decision is a time transaction. 4. Train yourself to see failure as feedback, not as a verdict. 5. Stop collecting things that look like wealth. Build things that generate it. 6. Curate your circle. Your environment is either your ceiling or your launch pad. You choose. 7. Find your obsession. Build a system around it. Let it compound. This is what scientists found inside billionaires' brains. Not luck, not genius, not some rare gift handed to a chosen few. A set of learned, trained, deliberately developed psychological shifts available to anyone willing to make them. The only question left is, are you? Your throne is waiting.